I'm Renee Ritchie, your creator liaison, and I am here with TK. TK, what do you do at YouTube?
I run the YouTube Partner Program, and I'm responsible for creator monetization and also to provide good support for creators as well.
I am going to actually take off my YouTube hat.
Okay.
I'm going to go full-on creator mood
Okay.
because, TK, what the hell? There's so much frustration in the creator community. Have you been seeing that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've been watching the videos, the comments, and I sense a mix of frustration and confusion about this launch. So I thought I would take time to talk to you today and try to explain this a little bit better.
All right, so I'm going to channel the social replies that I've been getting.
Okay.
The first is just like, why? Why is YouTube doing this?
Yeah, and I've seen the why is YouTube trying to destroy their own business, and I saw that. So let me just say it this way. I lead the YouTube Partner Program, and the concept of the YouTube Partner Program has always been, it's a commitment that YouTube succeeds when creator succeeds. And this launch is very much a part of that. What we are trying to do right now is recognizing that some of the things that viewers are seeing in ads has changed. For example, creators are creating longer content. And that means that mid-rolls matter a lot more than they used to. We've also talked about how more and more viewers are watching YouTube on TV. And viewer expectations on ads in TV are different. And so we felt like we had to make a couple of changes to help creators optimize their revenue. And that is going to also help us make sure that we don't lose viewers as we show ads. I'm confident that when we do this, we're going to see an increase in revenue for creators and YouTube and viewership. But I need to probably explain a little bit more of what's happening here.
If I'm making the video, I'm the creator, I know where I want those ads. Like, your robots won't know better than I will where that ad should
So
go.
actually, let me explain this, because I do think, and this will be a reminder for everyone, but this is how the ad system works. Creators, when you place manual mid-rolls on your video, what you're actually telling us is these are the places where I would allow you to serve ads. And the entire point of that was because in the past, creators felt that there were parts of their video where they didn't want ads. You know, it was a creative vision they had that in this section, I did want to have the entire play happen. I didn't want it to be interrupted by ads.
Or like a brand deal or something.
Brand deals is another example where I don't want to have an ad show up in the middle of brand deal. What happens though is when you tell us I would only want ads here, here, and here, our ad system now determines which of those ad slots we should put an ad in. And that is driven by multiple factors. And all of those factors are considered, and we decide to put ads on specific slots to make sure that we're increasing creator earnings, we're getting viewership, and meeting advertiser needs.
We've seen some creators, though, who like think about these things, and they realize that not every slot guarantees an ad.
Correct.
So they put ads like every 30 seconds because like in that mindset, they're giving YouTube much more flexibility and much more options. But now they're looking at their interface and just seeing no, 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 no.
And very understandably, the first time you see that, it can be jarring. But I want to explain what is actually happening. We're not disapproving ad slots. We're not taking away your ability to do ad slots. What we're actually doing for the first time is giving you information about what the ad system thinks. So in the past, when you place those ad slots and our ad systems were determining whether we want to put ads there or not, you did not have that information. And so what we realized over time is that because you didn't have that information, you didn't have a really good way to optimize your ads on your video. And so in many ways, you were trying to guess what the ad system wants without actually having information to do so. So our thinking here is by actually now showing you more information and being more transparent about what the ad system thinks, now you have the right information to adjust your ad breaks, the places where you are more likely to get ads. And that means that you'll be able to increase the chance of you earning, but also helps us because if we don't have a lot of good places to put ads, because you place them without having that information, we are also unable to put as many ads as we want in the right places. And that either means that we're going to lose viewers or not have enough revenue for creators and us.
So can I still put ad slots where I want? Because that was one of the big questions. Like, why are you taking away my ability to put ad slots where I want them?
Again, I want to be very, very clear. That we are not approving your ad slot. You could put ad slots anywhere you want in the video. What we are now doing, though, is telling you the likelihood of getting ads if you put it there. And we felt that, again, that information and transparency is going to help you. But I completely understand and empathize with the fact that when you see it for the first time, it could be very jarring. But it's things that were happening already that you just didn't know.
So in the meta for the last few years, creators, a segment of creators have done retention editing, trying to eliminate all these breakpoints to hold an audience longer. But now it seems like that's not what the ad system wants. And so if I've been doing that, what happens to all my videos, my back catalog?
So I don't know if I'd say that that's not what the ad system wants. Even within videos that have retention editing, there will be places that the ad system thinks it makes sense to place an ad in. The issue was that within that video, when a creator is putting ad breaks in certain intervals, for example, they don't have information to understand that the ad system thinks that that's not a good place to put ads.
Like they're time-based rather than content-based.
Right. And so when they do that, the ad system is looking at that video and saying, I don't really have a good place to put ads. Right?
And you haven't given me any good places.
You haven't given me a good place to put ads. So if I now put an ad there, I have to now make a bigger trade-off of either making revenue or losing viewers, which we don't want to do. What we're hoping for is that now that I showed you this, you can say, oh, wait, I don't have as many opportunities for ads. If I move the breaks to different places, I have more opportunities to serve ads.
So maybe if I'm seeing now that I don't have 10 slots serving, maybe those were never serving.
Right, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about like the whole idea of like, it feels very just trust me. Like just flip that button and just trust me. But what I'm seeing doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, and I guess not a trust me. So the other thing we're launching is giving you the flexibility to have a combination of automatic ads and manual ads, right? And in the past, we always made it, it was one or the other. You could either have auto ads or you could only do manual ads. And the more we thought about it, we wanted to give you both because you are using your intuition about your video to place manual ads. And then also the system is using its understanding to place slots for automatic ads as well. And what that would basically do is the fact that depending on the user context and the other things that the model thinks about, now it has a lot more flexibility to place ads. And so the combination of the two, I think, is going to help creators. And again, one thing, why we feel a lot of confidence about this launch is that we did run a number of experiments last year to test what would happen if we did a combination of auto ads and manual ads. And creators saw, on average, a 5% increase in revenue. Again, it's because now the system has more choices to make the right decision.
So the recommendation was to turn on auto. But we have people who are turning on auto and seeing either one or no slots, maybe not a slot for a long time, maybe a slot like 2 minutes into the video.
So I've seen instances where creators are saying, the system's telling me that many of my manual mid-roll slots are now unlikely to serve ads. And again, we're telling you that in many ways, it was not likely to serve ads today. And when the creator clicks on add auto, it only shows a few more breaks. And what's important is not the number of breaks always, it's about how likely that break is to get an ad. And so even with a smaller number, we think that actually creators will benefit from this and either be neutral or actually make more money with this change. The other thing is that we are using some of the things we're seeing right now to make improvements to the model. So before May, we anticipate that we'll be increasing the precision of our auto mid-rolls so that you'll actually see more good ad breaks in May.
So going forward, there's a chance it'll just keep improving. Do you, though, understand like different kinds of creators? Because some of the loudest voices we've heard about this are the gaming community who just think that there's constant gameplay, therefore we don't understand that, and we're not giving them any, or YouTube's not giving them any ad breaks.
We obviously spent a lot of time looking into all this. We've made this change, right? This has actually been in the works for about a year and a half. We've looked at different verticals for disparate impact, things like that. We didn't see it. Now, what we are seeing is that there's been, I think, a number of creators who've raised this issue on some of the videos they're seeing. Again, this is helpful because part of that we are looking into, is there something that the model's not understanding? Should we calibrate? Should we tune it? Should we rethink how the auto is thinking about some of this content? And so the feedback that we're getting from the ecosystem is actually very helpful because it's helping us tune our models. And while the transition period here maybe a bit jarring. Actually, in the long run, I think by giving you more transparency, it's going to help us actually do better too.
So you mentioned May, but some creators got the impression that this was happening to them like right now, today.
Yeah, and I saw both sides. So I think some creators said, YouTube's taking away my revenue as of right now. And then I think I also saw creators say, starting in May, YouTube's going to take away all my earnings. Let me clarify that. I think this was conflated, and I want to own that partly because I think we didn't communicate this very well. So let me talk about two different things. One, there is a change that's happening in May where I talked about how some of the viewer expectations around ads is changing. So we are doing a model update in May to better address that. And effectively what that will do is do what we do already, but do that a little bit more, which is that we tend to generally not show as many ads on interruptive flows. So say in the middle of a sentence or in the middle of an action sequence or a visual cue. And we try to put more ads in places where there is a natural break. That's what our system does today. The May update is going to tune that a bit more. So you're going to see us do even less ads on interrupted places, more ads in natural places. We felt that since that's happening in May, we wanted to give you these tools now. The information and transparency that you had before, the option auto before, and that was actually meant for you to improve your ads opportunities now, but also in anticipation of May. I think the confusion was people thought that in May, we're doing some wide-scale change to the model that's never been done before, and now you're gonna not make money anymore.
Yeah, taking all my ads away.
That's right. So this was very conflated, and again, I think I own up to making the communication there very clear. What you're seeing today reflects our ad system's view of how likely that slot is able to get an ad, and we're also thinking ahead and showing you what it will look like in May. But we're showing you both so that you can make adjustments now for May.
Okay, so I'm a creator and I've got 1,000 videos in back catalog. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, and we did think about this a lot, right? And so one thing we thought is now with the option that we're giving you, which is instead of just doing auto or just doing manual, you could do both. So one thing we wanted to do is give you, make it easier for you to make adjustments to your videos by having the option to just have us go through all of your existing videos and add automatic mid-rolls on top of your manual mid-rolls. A couple things I want to say there. One, we are not taking away any manual mid-rolls in your old videos. We are not doing that. We are just adding automatic mid-roll breaks to your videos if you've done manual. Is all we're doing. And secondly, you have the option to tell us you don't want this, right? So we're giving you until May 12th of 2025 to tell us whether you don't want us to do this. And if you tell us you don't want to do this, we will not do this.
You won't put the automatic?
No automatic, right. However, if you don't want us to do this, then we would highly recommend that you go through your old videos, you look at the feedback we're giving you about which ad breaks are unlikely to get ads, and make adjustments yourselves so that you increase the chances of you earning from ads. And again, the idea behind the auto was to save you the trouble of having to go through and do all of that for every one of your videos.
So let's say I sort my videos by like current watch time for older videos, and I go through and I do my top 20 or my top 50 videos. When you say adjust, you mean like move where the ad is?
I think that's a really good approach, which is, realistically, if you have 1,000 videos in your catalog, you don't want to necessarily go and manually adjust every one of those.
Especially if they're not making me any money.
Yeah, and so you should probably figure out which are the ones that are, to your point, getting the most views, making you the most money. For those videos, I really do think you should go in there and look at your ad breaks, because what you'll see is, if you had 10 ad breaks and maybe 4 of them, maybe 5 of them now we're showing you as being red, what that means is that those have a low likelihood of getting ads. So if you move those ad breaks to other places that are more natural, then that means that now the ad system has more good places to place ads. And so for the videos that are getting views where you do want to make more money from, you do want to spend the time to do that. I think the idea was, though, we don't necessarily want you to have to go through all of your old videos. And so for those, maybe just turning on auto and just making the system do it will help you rather than you spending the time to do that.
And what if the auto system puts a break where I don't want it, like over a workout spot or a brand deal?
Yeah, we heard that concern a lot. So when we thought about doing this combination of automatic and manual, we did want to show you exactly where the auto system is going to place the ad. And now you have the flexibility, to your point, of going back through, seeing what our system's doing, and saying, you know what, I actually don't want auto right there and right there because that conflicts with my brand deal. Or that's a part of the video I don't want ads in. And so you can delete those, but it'll still keep the other places where you put an auto ad. So we're giving you the opportunity to do the combination, but also give you the control to delete certain places.
Do you have any guidance as to where I should put the ads or where I shouldn't put them?
Yeah, there's a couple things I could say right off the bat. One, you don't want to put an ad break in the middle of a sentence because you could see how that the experience of getting an ad right there as I was trying to finish the sentence is very jarring. So that's something you shouldn't do. There's other things too. We do look at things like the visual sequence of the video. And sometimes when we're seeing something that happens and the action is happening in the video and all of a sudden it just stops, that's another thing that I think our models are showing that's likely to lose viewers if we show an ad there. So those are some of the places that are obvious. There are other things that actually are specific to the video's context that the system tries to account for. But generally, it's where there's a little bit of a pause. And so there's a way for us to put the ad in a way that doesn't feel like it's disrupting the actual visual of the video is kind of the real idea there.
So, but you're not expecting me to do like a 5-second pause or to turn everything off?
No.
What about creators who really care about the viewing experience and right now they're very carefully placing like 1 or 2 slots in selected locations?
Yeah, no, and in some ways I think the mid-roll ad controls were designed actually for that kind of creator. And I respect the fact that this is your content and is an expression of your creative vision. And so what we're trying to do is actually give you more information to make that choice, which is if you only want us to put an ad in that one place and you don't want us to put ads anywhere else because that's really how you want the user to consume your content, we respect that. What we're now telling you is the choice of you could do that. Just know that if you do that, you may have a lower chance of earning ads revenue. But we felt that we want to give you this information so you can make the right trade-offs, right? And I think for those types of creators, it is really important that they do that. And now we just give you more information to figure out if that's the right trade-off you want to make.
Yeah, it might still be a good slot. There's just not a lot of slots.
Right. And honestly, we do find that the creators that do that are very much looking at the flow of the content and just place an ad and spend a lot of time on it. Generally, they actually have very high quality breaks, and that's something we see.
Now, going forward, I'm uploading new content. Part of this feels like YouTube's trying to tell me that I have to put these, like trying to control how I make my content.
No, we are not trying to control your content. We're trying to give you more information. And so practically going forward, now that we have these new tools, this is sort of the upload flow you should think about, which is upload your video. And then when you first upload your video, our automatic systems will tell you where it would think about placing ads. You could take a look at those, and then on top of that, add your own ad slots, right? Because you might say that actually this thing's missing some things. You could also go through and delete some of the ones that we placed. For example, the brand deals example we talked about. So going forward, I think the way you think about uploads and how you manage it going forward is you use what our systems are telling you, you add your own slots, and when you add your own slots, we're giving you feedback to say, likely to serve ads, less likely to serve ads, and then you are now able to optimize what your video is doing with a combination of the two.
I do like more data. Like I know when I got the retention graph, I realized my 10-second intro was costing me viewers, so I chose not to put that in anymore. Is this in a way designed to give us that information so that we can make, like I'm still in control, but I can make a choice as to where I put the...
I mean, I think a good partnership means that where we can, we should provide more transparency to our partners, and that's what we're trying to do for our YPP partners. I acknowledge that the first time you see it, it can be a bit jarring, right? I'm sure the first time you saw a retention graph, it was a very jarring experience to say I was losing viewers there.
My jokes were not as funny as I thought.
Yeah, you know, and that's hard. That's hard. But in some ways, in the long run, we believe by giving you more information, that helps you make good choices. And if you do that, you'll have a higher chance of making money from ads, and so will we. And that's why we think that with this change, we're all going to be better off.
TK, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.
Insiders, you know what to do. Jump down, leave a comment, leave a question, and keep it real.